Welcome to the Business Spotlight Podcast. My name is David. I am your host for today's conversation. And my guest today is Sean Krieger, the owner of Bold Estimations. We're going to be talking about his business journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and a share of what it's really like to own and operate a business. Sean, welcome to the show and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to give us a little bit of background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So my name is Sean Krieger, and I run Bold Estimation, and we are the largest outsourced construction estimation services company in the United States. So I've got about 225 staff, and we just do all kinds of pre-construction services. So takeoffs, proposals. We work with vendors, subcontractors, general contractors, anybody that's out there. We want to help, and then we also do miscellaneous admin work, bookkeeping. Anything that a small business would need, we're either already doing it or we're trying to get involved in doing it so that we can help our clients just have a little bit better process and grow. So that's us.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, generally speaking, what does your ownership structure look like? Are you a sole founder? Do you all have a
Yeah.
partner? Are there outside investors? This is a question I always love to ask for the audience.
I'm very unique. So I am the only person running this. I'm the sole owner. And I actually took on no debt to start this company as well. So I have no financing. It's just me, whatever we make at
Oh,
the end of the
wow.
month, I get to keep it, which is an awesome business structure. Partnering with people gets pretty complicated. So I'm trying to do some partnerships right now, but man, every time I try, it's difficult to get two people to align on one vision. So I would always recommend for especially your first business, just start out on your own because it's it's way more difficult to start out with someone else because now you've got two different competing opinions and your livelihood's at stake, the time that you spend on your business is at stake. So don't risk it. Just do it yourself to start. And if it works, then you can bring on more people because you kind of have more stability once your company's actually already started and going.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what does like your day to day look like? What's your role in the business? Are you strictly CEO or are you kind of boots on the ground as well?
I do a little bit of everything. So my role has significantly changed since I started the company. So you start a business, and especially if you're doing a professional services business like I am, you have to actually start doing the services. So I started out actually doing estimates and takeoffs myself, especially the wood framing stuff. It was really just all me doing it. But over time, I just continued to grow and grow and grow. A team of people, I had to train them all from scratch, essentially speaking. And at this point, I've got staff that know how to do it. So I haven't done a takeoff in probably 18 months at this point. I don't even do any of the QC work. So really, everything that I do is about facilitating growth. So it's a hopping on a podcast like this is a way to get my name out there and talk more about what I do. But we have all kind of initiatives. So right now I'm working specifically, I'm focusing on my admin staff, trying to create better data scraping. And, we've got a bunch of different admin services that we're really starting to offer. Bookkeeping is one of them. So new initiatives is really what my day to day is. And then that's variable with whatever's going on. It's sometimes you start something, you hire the right person, it works great, and you have to do almost nothing. Sometimes you hire somebody and it just takes forever and you just banging your head against the wall. I've got a little bit of both of those going right now. I've got a programmer. We're doing a couple small things. That's going great. I've got a data scraping team, not going so great. So I think I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon kind of checking their work and walking through what they're doing right and wrong. So, with any company, uh, when you're the owner, especially as you get bigger and bigger, your day becomes just managing problems. And I would say that that's really what I do on a daily basis. There's always a problem that's going to happen. I don't even really schedule out what tomorrow looks like because I don't know what it is yet, but I know that there will be a problem later today or tomorrow that I'm going to have to handle. So I just kind of clear your schedule once you get big enough and just prepare for the problems because they're coming for you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. I always like to paint a picture for the audience with different business owners. I'm curious, how many hours are you putting into the business each week?
Each week, how many hours? Ah, man, well, that's really variable. I have done as few as 5 hours of work in one week. Let's just say in the last year, as few as 5 hours and as many as 90. So
Oh,
like I said, the problems they come, that 5 hour week, I still remember. I was like, man, everything worked this week. Like everything just worked. I don't know what happened. I didn't have to do anything. It was when that happens, it's a dream, and it doesn't happen very often. So I would say, normally I'm putting in anywhere from 30 to 50 hours a week, especially at the end of the month when I have to do payroll and I have to check all the invoices, and then everybody wants to negotiate their bonuses or raises or this or that. Those are long weeks for me. But in the middle, I then focus on just new initiatives in the middle of the month, which we're almost at the end of the month, so that's going to change really quickly. So yeah, I mean, again, it's pretty variable. I think, especially in the construction industry as well, a lot of people are kind of up and down in their hours. When you have work in construction, you just do it. Like you don't turn away work when you're a construction company. You just figure out how to get it done. And if you just keep growing and growing, then you have to hire more staff, and you're going to have these ebbs and flows where, oh, maybe I hired too many. Man, there's nothing for people to do. I got real problems. And then you go out and try to sell work and things like that. But yeah, I would say it's variable, but probably 40 to 50 hours a week is kind of my norm right now.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, this is one of my favorite questions to ask because I think it
Hmm.
really um it's just really fun to for other business owners to
Sure.
hear. I'm curious, based on your experience, if I were to give you an extra 10 hours back each week, how would you invest those hours? In the business, personal, family life?
10 hours a week back. Ooh, I don't know. I would say it depends. It depends on how I feel that week. So I mentioned all I do is, growth initiatives and manage problems. There are certain weeks where I'm fired up and I put that 10 hours back into the business for sure. There are other weeks where I'm doing everything I can not to work because I'm so frustrated at what I'm doing. And those weeks I put it in with my family. I spend a tremendous amount of time with my family compared to even other business owners. I think all I do is work and spend time with my family. I really don't do much else. So again, it's kind of variable. I think certain weeks, yeah, I would definitely throw it right back into the business, working on whatever growth initiative I'm working on. And then other weeks, I'd say, no, I need to relax. Let me spend another 10 hours with my family. I've got two small children, by the way. So I've got a 9 month old and one that's almost three as well. So like a what is that, like a 30 something month old? I don't know. When they get that old, it's like they're close to three. So they're a lot of fun. And man, they are a lot of fun. I'll just say that again. Like have kids, small kids especially. They're a lot of fun to hang out with. We do a lot of playtime, and so yeah,
Yeah,
10 more hours a week is great. Yeah.
me and my wife are expecting. We're gonna be having
Ah,
our first kid in about 6 months. So
congrats. You better
yeah.
get ready. Get some sleep.
Yeah, that's what my dad told me. I asked him, I was like, any advice? And he said, go to sleep now. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. The only advice that I would give, and I can never figure this out, the hospital, most of the time they'll have like a little bed for fathers, and it's like the worst mattress or couch or whatever they'll give you. Makes no sense because you have your child, your wife is going to be very tired, and then they decide, you know what? The father shouldn't sleep either. Let's just screw everybody in the family. No one will get any sleep because, the first 3 weeks after you have that kid, I mean, usually they're just up all the time, just screaming. So if you can figure out a way to make that couch more comfortable, that is my advice. You've got to front load as much sleep as you can in that hospital. Because once you get home, there's nobody there to help. It's just you,
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna just bring a ton of pillows. That's probably my
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious, why'd you choose to go into business for yourself and own and operate this, or instead of trying to maybe go and work for a different firm or company?
Yeah, so I've actually never been an employee in my entire life,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I think I'm probably the only person I know that's ever done that. So since I've been in high school, I've been running some kind of side gig or what have you to make money. Man, and that started from anything from I used to buy and sell Xbox 360s on Craigslist. Like that was my high school gig. My parents were not happy about it, but I was bringing in more money than my brother who was working like a full-time low wage job. He worked at Little Caesars. He had some nice perks. Okay. When you work at Little Caesars, you get some pizzas out of it. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, I've always been working for myself, and I used to do actual general contracting construction stuff. I managed apartment complexes before that and did some remodels there. So I was pretty I, I don't want to say too familiar, but I was doing okay figuring out the whole construction thing. Once you actually go build a house, it's a lot different. There's a lot of permits, a lot of things to consider. But I got burned out from doing that. I just didn't like dealing with permitting. So I said, man, where can I go? What can I do in construction where I don't have to deal with permitting ever again? I'll do pre-construction. I'll get in before these permitting guys even get involved. I'll get in there. So that's what I did. And I realize in the market today, especially in the construction market, there's a tremendous need. Um, I would recommend to anybody, just don't go to college, just go into construction because the need is growing and growing. In the next 5 years, about 40% of the construction industry is going to retire, especially the office guys. Man, it's wild out there. You cannot hire the jobs that I'm filling. Most of my clients actually don't want to hire me. They say, "Oh man, I want to hire somebody in, you know, it's here locally that can do things with me," and they just can't do it. There just isn't anybody. So that's why I got into what I'm doing. It was just slow and steady looking through the construction industry. I just saw like there's nobody else doing it. Let's just do it. So
Yeah, yeah, a big need there.
yeah, humongous need. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, as you look back on your journey so far, what has been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle you were challenged with that you were forced to overcome?
Well, the most memorable one? Ah, man. I would say I built a house and I did not get a working sewage connection for 2 years.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and my wife and I lived there. Love that woman. It's in a bad neighborhood. We got burglarized 13 times in 18 months. So,
Oh my God.
City of Houston, baby.
Yeah.
Third Ward. We were right next to downtown, and they decriminalized homelessness. So big 10,000 strong homeless camp or so popped up not too far from us, and there was a drug house in between that homeless camp and where we were. So we just saw the zombies going back and forth. That's what we call them in the biz, the zombies, because they're like zombies. I mean, they're high. They've got open sores and stuff everywhere. I mean, it's terrible. It's super sad, but I don't know any other way to describe them without
Yeah.
being as straightforward. And that's why I got into construction estimation because I was building houses and City of Houston's permitting. Sylvester Turner specifically was mayor at the time. They wanted to hurt me. I mean, there were a lot of racially motivated reasons why they didn't like a white guy building in a black neighborhood. And so I stopped doing that. And I just moved to pre-construction. Um, from there, I mean, my biggest hurdle was really understanding cultures. So when you outsource, obviously you can go virtually anywhere in the world. I started with a team in Pakistan, and it's just not a very good culture to try to build a business in. It's very, very difficult. Basically, as soon as they learn what they're doing, they try to go off and start their own business because they feel like being the boss is more important than understanding the fundamentals or growing a team or doing anything like that. There's not a lot of team orientation in Pakistan, so that took me about a year and a half to really figure out because we'd boomed to about 35 staff and couldn't get over the hump no matter what we did. Everybody just kept quitting. Like, and then they'd go start their own thing and they'd come back and try to work part time and this and that. And so eventually I said, no, I'm going to try a different country. And then I started in the Philippines about 5 years ago, and I'm never looking back. It's a much better corporate culture style that we've got there.
So is most of your business is in the Philippines? That's where y'all do most of y'all's
Yeah.
like pre-modeling and stuff is for homes out there in the Philippines.
No, the homes are here in the United
Gotcha.
States. So if you walked into a Home Depot in Atlanta, Georgia right now, for example, and you brought them a house plan and you said, "Hey, I need the lumber, the siding, windows, doors. I want to buy all this stuff from you." Home Depot would send that to us, and then my team would take it in, and they're over in the Philippines and they do the work, and the time zones are a lot different, but we kind of flex through it and we make it happen. So yeah, we just tell people what they need, and then hopefully they buy it. So that's the main plan with Home Depot. They've got a big initiative going right now, trying to build up their outside sales reps.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So to go a little deeper, how difficult was it like maybe to find these workers and stuff over in the Philippines? I know you said like compared to Pakistan, it was a
Sure,
lot easier. So
sure. Finding somebody that wants a job really in any of those countries is very, very easy. The main reason is their wages are horrific. So in Pakistan, if you go and you get, I'm going to call it an engineering degree, but it's like a 2 year associate's degree in engineering. And I would not trust them to engineer anything. I'll say that. Like, they're not really engineers, but they will call themselves engineers. Those guys hop out of school and they usually make about $300 a month US. So it's abysmal. I mean, they just don't make any money. Philippines is a little bit better than Pakistan. They're probably at about 450 to 500 a month, starting out, and then they get going a little bit. And I think a good wage in the Philippines probably about 850 to 900 a month. So it's cheap over there. And I think a lot of people outsource to foreign countries because of the price difference. They say, well, it's cheap. You save so much money. That's really never been my intention. It's been to build up the lives of the people who are working for me, figuring out ways to actually pay them more because they're worth it. And it takes a long time to get them worth it. I mean, it takes a lot of training and a lot of dedication, and there's cultural differences that you kind of have to work through. So starting that was incredibly difficult. I mean, I can tell anybody, there's a website called onlinejobs.ph. If you want to post an ad to find somebody in the Philippines to work with you, it's right there. It's so easy. I put one job ad up, I got 600 applicants. It's it's that simple. I think it's $75 a month for it. It's basically their version of Indeed. So you can find them.
Gotcha.
There's tons and tons and tons of them out there. How you get them though, how you get the right people, a lot of tricks to the trade with what we're doing. And then it's not just hiring the right people, it's building a culture and setting an expectation that they can then understand as well. And that's really what I've been able to accomplish. I do pure profit sharing with all my staff. So whatever I bill, they get a percentage. It's like guaranteed. So if they can bill a crazy amount of money and build a team that can do that as well, I mean, I got people making so much money in the Philippines. It's it's a lot. It's a lot of money for them. I mean, it'd probably be equivalent of like 4 or 500,000 US here
Oh
in
wow.
terms of like percentages of salaries compared to what they would be getting. So yeah, I'm not afraid to pay people really, really well, and I think that's a pretty big key to it as well. I'm not trying to be one of those greedy owners, one of those capitalistic pigs or whatever the liberals are calling them these days. I really just want to build something up. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know we talked a lot about it, and I think I get a general idea. But so, who does your business primarily serve? It seems like it's mostly just people who are trying to build homes, and then they go to Home Depot, and then they
Sure.
contact you.
No, so we will service virtually anyone. So that includes general contractors, subcontractors, and vendors. So the vendor portion, obviously, it's like Home Depot. We service Blue Links as well, but we service almost. I would say we're at like 40% of the major lumber yards we service. So IDAPAC, Carter Lumber, 84 Lumber, um, anybody, right? So if you need a takeoff, which is like any subcontractor needs a takeoff, we can provide it for you. So that's plumbing, mechanical, electrical, civil. It's the whole thing. So we do it all. The only thing we don't really touch is fire protection systems, and those are usually designed in house anyways. And I don't want to deal with them because it's all permitting. And as I said in the beginning, we don't deal with permitting in this country or this company. I'm not doing it. So yeah, I mean, and the companies that we service are small to large. I mean, my metal stud division, probably 50% are small Hispanic subcontractors because that's kind of who does metal stud and drywall on small commercial projects. So we'll help them out with full materials lists, and we do pricing for them as well because they always want to know, how much should I charge for this stuff? Okay, well, here's what we think it is. All the way up to, as I mentioned, Home Depot. But I mean, we'll do like large multifamily contractors. Out of the top 10 in the U.S., we have two of them that work for us or with us. And then we've got, we work with Capform, for example. You probably don't know who that is, but they built AT&T Stadium in Dallas. They're the
Hmm.
concrete company that did it. So
Oh wow.
yeah, we'll go big. We'll go big. Whatever people need, all sizes, we'll help them out.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So kind of shifting over a little bit into into marketing. I'm curious,
Mhm.
how much of your monthly budget is put back into marketing?
Uh, Very, very low. Let me think about it. Let me think about it as a total. As a percentage of total revenue, my marketing is 0.25%.
Oh, wow. So like
So
0.25%.
yeah, so it's very, very low. I've never really had to do much marketing. We really only have two initiatives that we're like I said, we're doing the data scraping with the admin right now. So we're trying to create more marketing initiatives. It's just been very hard. So the two things we do is we run LinkedIn. So I've got a huge LinkedIn following. I'm going to share this video there with them, which is, I'm going to carve it up, try and I'm trying to start more social media initiatives because we've got a big following, but we actually don't do very much with it. And then the other one is we just post on Indeed. So people post a job and say, "Hey, I need a construction estimator for whatever it is they need," and we send in a resume, and it's basically a company resume, and we say, "Hey, we can do it for you," and so we get a tremendous amount of work just from doing those two things. I mean, we probably get a new client every 2 to 3 days just doing that. So we really don't need to do very much. I mean, the need in construction is tremendous. I mean, it is so large right now, and it's getting worse and worse. So if you can produce, I mean, that would be my advice really for any business owner. Forget about marketing. Just get really good at what you're doing, and everyone will buy it. Like it doesn't matter what the product is, what the service is. If you're better than everyone else, that's really the Japanese approach to business. Japan spends very little on marketing because you don't need to market Toyota. It's a better car, like
Yeah.
the it's a nice one. So that's why people buy it. They don't buy it because they saw an ad on TV. They buy it because it's very reliable and has a great brand and reputation. So that would
Yeah,
be what I would say.
you'll drive a Toyota Corolla till you hit 300,000 miles. So,
Exactly. We want to
yeah.
be that Toyota Corolla for you. Okay. It's
Yeah.
nothing sexy, but it'll get you where you're going and it's very reliable. That's us.
I know you said that you were going to be trying to post or trying to start your own podcast. Is that kind of like a
Mhm.
marketing initiative that you're trying to push?
Yeah, so exactly what I'm doing right now. I don't really want to start my podcast just yet. Like actually hosting it. I just want to get on everybody else's podcast, especially within the construction space. I'm really the only large outsourced estimation company that's out there. I've People say, okay, well, who are your competitors, Sean? And I go, well, I don't really have any because there's nobody that's building something in a scalable way that's actually doing a good job on it. And so my next marketing step really is, can I just get on other people's podcasts and just tell them what I'm doing? Because everybody in construction would love to figure out how to outsource. Nobody else has done it yet. So now all I got to do is say, hey, I did it. I want to do it for you. Come reach out to me. So that's the goal.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So I know you said that you have a couple team members. About how big is your team?
About 225 staff at this point.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
yeah,
And
we're
most
we're
of them are in
big.
the Philippines.
Yep. All but I still have my main marketing guy who does my LinkedIn and Indeed is actually in Pakistan, but he's in very far north Pakistan, which is kind of strange. It's like very, very far north outside the cities. And then virtually everybody else is in the Philippines except me. And I just hired another US based guy that is doing a good job just helping me out with a bunch of stuff. People say, well, what's his job title? What does he do? And I'm like, just helping me deal with the problems. That's all he does. So
Yeah, it's awesome. So with you training mostly people overseas, what does your training process normally look like?
At this point, I don't personally do any of the training. Originally, I mean, it was just sitting there on calls, just kind of walking through things. I made a bunch of video series for all different trades, really. So I have like a private YouTube channel that I'd make a little playlist and do it. At this point, most of those playlists, though, the actual manager who's doing it now, like my concrete manager, for example, he's got his own playlist. And it's in Tagalog, which is their native language. There is a language barrier, so they do speak English, but when you're learning something new, it's way easier to learn it in the language rather than
Yeah.
trying to suffer through it. And then we speak a little bit faster than they would like. I mean, I speak Spanish sort of, but you get me in front of a Puerto Rican, I can't understand half what they're saying. They're so fast. Venezuelans the same, like stuff. So yeah, so the training it just took time. It just took a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of time to find the right staff, people who can be trained. Which for outsourcing, that's something that's very, very interesting and unique. The schooling really doesn't matter to me, where they went to school, what their prior experience was. We have a test project. If they can pass that, then we'll give them a shot. And can they learn? We'll find out. The smartest guy in the world, sometimes he comes into a brand new thing, business, and he has no idea what's going on. He doesn't like learning, so it doesn't work. Most of my staff are young, by the way, which kind of goes hand in hand. By the time you're about 35 or 40, it's really hard to pick up a brand new career, which is basically what this is, because nobody else is doing it. And, like my lumber framing team, for example, they don't even have wood frame buildings in the Philippines. They don't have lumber. So everything that they're doing, they've never even seen before. Um, it's kind of unique when you think about it. It's like, man, they literally have never seen this stuff and they're figuring it out. So hats off to
Yeah.
them.
So every business owner kind of has a dream or a goal for their business. Some people want
Hmm.
to franchise it, some people want to eventually sell it, some people just want to have a stable company
Hmm.
and then eventually retire. I'm curious, which one of those do you fall into? Or do you fall into a different category?
I'm never selling, never
Never
selling.
selling.
No,
Love that.
not gonna do it. So I'm very familiar with private equity firms, and I know pretty much any kind of exit strategy you could come up with because my wife is a partner at Weaver, which is an accounting firm, and she works in business valuation. So her job is all kinds of stuff, tax compliance, different things, but primarily she is an ESOP consultant. So she does valuation services for employee stock ownership plans. Very popular in the construction space. We'd love to be doing more. Shout out to her, Jennifer Krieger at Weaver. Yeah, but for me, you know, although I am the sole owner, I really look at my staff, and that's why I do the profit sharing with them. If I sell, what's going to happen? Well, I know the private equity company is going to come in, and any kind of owner is going to come in and try to squeeze them somehow. They're not gonna treat them with the kind of respect that I'm treating them. I mean, am I overpaying some of my staff? Yeah, I think I am for sure. There's definitely staff I could pay less, and I know they wouldn't quit. But why would you? So I'm going to hold this thing as long as I can. I mean, I'll be 70 years old and still going. And there's so many different, growth initiatives and opportunities for us out there. We really want to get to the point where we could take any kind of subcontracting business, buy into them, and then actually help them grow through so many different things. Whether it's helping their marketing, it's helping all of their administration, it's getting their finances together. It's getting a little better operationally. There's so many different things that small subcontractors especially need because running a business when you're small and in construction, a lot of these guys they work out in the field all day. Their wife tries to help them or something like. We're gonna get away from that and let me just run this thing and help you. And that's our goal. Those businesses maybe I'll buy and sell, but even those I'd love to just run them in. We're the Toyota Corolla, man. We're gonna run them to 300,000 miles. See if we can get to 400.
Yeah, no, I really like that. It's a very interesting answer. A lot of people that I talk with, it's always like, oh yeah, the goal is to franchise and then eventually exit
Yeah,
the business or eventually grow enough to where I can sell
yeah,
the business. Because I think a lot of business owners really look for that long-term quote unquote freedom. But then my dad owns a business and he told me that if he ever sold his business, he'd be dead in 6 months. So it's kind
yeah.
of one of those things where
Okay.
it's like sounds like you're kind of more in that wheelhouse where it's like you really love your job, you really love working, and that's really admirable.
Yeah, I mean, my job fundamentally is building up other people, and yeah, it's in pre-construction services, but it's really about going out to the Philippines and trying to build, a culture and a job opportunity for these guys that they would never have otherwise. So,
Mhm.
how can I walk away from that? Who am I going to sell that to? I mean, that's a vision and a goal that I think is more important than franchising or it's a private equity firm taking it over. Like, nah, they're not gonna live like that. So why would I do that to my own staff? I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if
Yeah.
you're ready for it, we'll probably transition to a couple rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire, hit me with them.
All right. What is the key to success for you?
The key to success, finding the right corporate culture and getting buy-in from your staff. That's the number one key.
Awesome. What is one piece of advice that you would give to other business owners?
Stay out of debt. Do not get into debt. As little debt as possible will give you the freedom that you need to actually be able to do the things you need to do.
Yeah, I like that. I haven't heard that one yet, actually. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
What is a book or podcast you're reading or listening to right now?
A book or podcast? I'm writing a book right now,
Oh,
actually.
that's cool.
So I'm not reading one. I am writing one. I'm actually Catholic, and the book is going to be called Why We Left. And it's just a conversation about really why people are leaving the Catholic Church, including I'm not going to say I left the Catholic Church, but I've definitely taken stints where I'm not really around. And I'm going to talk very, very in depth about it. And I think it's going to be something people would be interested in hearing, especially the clergy and people who are struggling with that question. Why is everyone leaving the faith? Well, I'll tell you.
That's super interesting, actually, because a lot of business owners that I talk to, whenever they say they're writing a book, normally it's about their business. So it's really cool that you're writing
Yeah.
something that's more like personal to you.
Yeah. Well, my business is people.
Yeah.
If I could figure out a way to really grow the Catholic Church, I think a lot of the problems in society, especially business problems, like I talked about private equity firms. I'll dog on them all day long. Those guys don't care, man. All they want to do is buy something and squeeze everything out of it. And the way that they're squeezing generally is they squeeze their staff. And so you can't be a religious nation anymore. Like, people say, okay, is America Christian or not? It doesn't really matter if a private equity company owns the business you're working in. They're just going to squeeze you and they don't care about you anymore. And I think it hurts. I mean, I'm in the outsourcing space. I see it all the time. I talked to a major outsourcing company. I talked to one of the owners and he asked me, well, what do you pay your staff? And I explained to him, well, it's profit sharing. He goes, oh, wow. I was just looking to see, I mean, do they need another $50 a month or are they happy where they're at? I'm like, dude, you're in clothes that cost more money than their salary for a month. Like, why would you do this? And so
Yeah.
I have no respect for those people, whether they're successful or not financially. It definitely bothers me to the core because if you saw how some of these people are living, I mean, I had a staff that got bit by a stray cat. The rabies vaccine over there is half your month's salary. It's so difficult to live there. You have to have it. I mean, it just burns their whole salary, and then they say things like, "I guess I'm not eating meat all month. I'll just have rice." It sucks. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, that's
Uh,
that's my advice for anybody. Outsourcing is fantastic because it's almost as if it's a true ministry. I mean, I've never even been to the Philippines, but there's a lot of people there, and the Philippines is predominantly a Christian nation. They need help
yeah.
and not superficial. Oh, okay, I'll give them a this or that kind of job, like real help, a real opportunity. And so that's a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. This is a kind of a fun, more lighthearted type of question.
Okay,
If you had a little
sure.
bit of magic dust and you could choose one spot in your business to kind of sprinkle it on there and then everything would be perfect in that one area, where would it be and why?
Oh man, magic dust sprinkling, where would it be? I would say hiring is probably where I would sprinkle it on. I figured out how to hire for estimation roles. I'm now trying to figure out what the key is for other types of work. Um, and that's very, very difficult, especially the Philippines is a very hierarchical nation. And so they like having titles. They like knowing who their boss is. It's in Asia, so I mean it's an island off the coast of Asia, but it's an Asian culture, right? So that's what they try to do. Hiring, what I would consider a Junko admin role, like a data scraper or somebody who just does, really basic admin tasks. I can pay them more than they would make if they had an advanced degree. I will pay them more than a doctor in the Philippines, literally more than a doctor. But it's hard to convince them that they should take this role that's beneath them, even for the higher
Mm,
pay. It's very strange. And so I've got to figure out what the title needs to be. It's got to be something super fancy. I got to figure out what degrees someone would have that would want to do these roles. We're trying out accountants right now. Don't know if it's going to work or not, but that's where I would sprinkle. Like, what's what's the magic that I need for this job posting to convince somebody that these roles are very important and they're not beneath you and you can make great money at it and we can scale it and everybody in the US needs it. I don't know. I don't know the answer
yeah.
to that yet. But I'm gonna figure it out. That's our problem right now. We keep hiring people, and I don't want to say we're cycling through them, but there are a lot of hires. We both kind of look at each other and go, "Man, this isn't working." Like we don't fire a lot of people. Generally, they're gonna quit because they're like, "I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm gonna find another job." And I'm like, "You're probably right." Okay, so so that's where we're at. I think our current batch is doing okay for data scraping. But again, I don't know the secret sauce yet, but we're gonna get there. We will find
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah. Well, before we get to the final question of the day, would you like to share with the audience how they can follow you, learn more, contact you?
yeah, so it's really easy to find me. All our social medias, it's just Bold Estimation. Our website, just as simple as boldestimation.com. And you can find our phone number there. You can call me anytime. Reach out to me. I'd love to chat about estimating services, any kind of admin construction work that we do. We'd love to help with them.
Awesome. Well, we've come to the final question of the day, and that is what is most inspiring to you today?
What is most inspiring to me today? I would say my family. We talked briefly about it. I've got two small kids. Man, I wake up every day, and I think a lot of fathers do this. You wake up every day and you go, I got to get something done. I got kids to feed. I got something to do here, and that's what keeps me going. It's just the family dynamic of just trying to care for my family.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, this was a great conversation. I really enjoyed getting to hear your story, so thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate
Of,
it.
of course. I just encourage all of you watching to save this show and come back and watch it again because Sean really did have some great insights for business. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that way you get notifications every time a new conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today, and a special thanks to you, Sean, for being with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks as well. Thanks,
Yep.
guys.
See y'all in the next episode.